Initially, no, I don't believe in supernatural beings. I've seen no proof of them, but I suspect there's a possibility.
I've had experiences in places that I felt were spooky because people had been telling me this place is haunted. So as soon as you plant that idea in my head, I'm gonna buy it and then I'm gonna stay awake all night long.
I've had a couple of experiences in my life that people have told me are supernatural and they thought were ghosts. I'm not sure I believe it, but they certainly were very, very strange, and I can't explain them.
I kind of know that there is some sort of energy that people have that may or may not continue living on. And so I don't have a real definite answer to whether I believe in ghosts or not. I kind of do and I kind of don't.
I don't think that things like ghosts and supernatural beings are real in the sense that they're physically real. In terms of them being mentally real, I would say absolutely they do exist. But again, it comes down to it all being in your head.
I have had encounters with the supernatural, yes, numerous. As by in supernatural, meaning what I deeply feel is a communication from someone who is no longer living, yes.
Okay, well, I haven't personally had an encounter with the ghosts themselves, but I did stay at a Girl Scout camp with my daughter last year. And any Girl Scouts who are listening to this might know the camp I'm talking about. It's called Bothan. And this place originally was an Indian reservation. So there's burial grounds there. So immediately when you think, okay, Indian burial ground, that's one hit against you. It's got to be haunted. Then later on, the state sold the property to the government, who built hospitals there for tuberculosis patients. So now it's just the makings of a horror film. So they built a hospital there where people went literally to die all through the 1900s. Then those closed up and they sold it to the Girl Scouts. So American Girl Scouts Association, CSA, uses that space every year, probably to scare children. Personally, I didn't have any, interactions with the ghosts that are there, but they say there's a nurse that rolls up and down the hallway with her medicine cart.
I'm not sure I believe in ghosts, but there certainly has, even at this school, been some very, very strange happenings that I can't explain. Things that have happened in this room, in this very room, that I can't explain.
Well, there's been some stories, some rumors about ghosts here in the J-Quad.
One of the most prominent ones happened in this classroom, J106. Mark died in a duck hunting accident. It was a stormy night, and I was concerned. He was in my 3D design class, and he was so excited. No, Miss Warren, stormy nights are the best time to go duck hunting. That's when the best hunting happens. So excited. And they went out, their boat took on water. Long story short, he died. And it was tragic. Off the counter, there was a stack of maybe 30 paint pallets. And all of a sudden, they just flew off that counter. Everybody stopped everything we were doing and just was like, what was that? Rain came out of the back room. She just looked at me. She goes, I think that's Mark. And I just looked at her and said, I think you're right. I think it's Mark.
Ghosts are the most obvious explanation and maybe the best explanation, but I can't know for sure.
Grandpa Earl was his name. He lived up in Mariposa, which is just outside of Yosemite. And he was a gold miner and a smoker. And whenever I was there visiting him or talking with him, he had a very particular scent. And I don't smell it in other places in my life. And it's hard to describe. It was kind of like an old man that doesn't take a shower every day, a little bit of that. But it was also just him. And after he died, I was in my house, and it was really kind of unsettling. It freaked me out a little bit. But I smelled Grandpa Earl's smell so strong that I just thought, like, something's here. He's here. His spirit is here.
The house I grew up in New Jersey was haunted for all intents and purposes. My family felt it was haunted. We did see things in the house. shadowy movements and lights going on and off. Now that I know how these things work and how the mind works, I feel that I've just fallen prey to the idea that my mind was playing tricks on me.
I have doubts about the supernatural because it just doesn't seem to make sense to me. It doesn't make sense that somebody would hang around, that somebody would linger on. It's never been completely explained to me in a way that makes sense of how ghosts can actually exist.
The idea of ghosts and spirits and this afterlife and this connection, I think it really just kind of all ties into human psychology.
I have my doubts that ghosts exist because every story you've ever heard from everyone who's ever told a story, it's always been third person. So even the account of the nurse wheeling a cart down the hallway was something I read online. So it's all hearsay. I'm skeptical until I personally see something that scares me out of my socks.
If you're looking for it, I think you're going to find what you're looking for, possibly. You're going to make up your imagination is a pretty powerful muscle, you know? So I think you can justify a belief if you have a real strong belief. I'm just open to the possibility, so I'm not going out and seeking it. I wouldn't put a button on saying I believe in the supernatural, but am I open to the supernatural? Absolutely.